I've been wearing two hats in the midst of this kind of racial uprising. So I've served as a protest chaplain, which is basically, I wear my clergy garb or whatever, and I go with other faith leaders and have stood between police officers and protesters, like literally as a wall between those two. And as a consequence of that, I've had to bear witness to and I've listened to the stories that regular citizens have of all of the ways that police have brutalized them and harassed them. Like I've listened to black mothers with their black boys standing beside them, yell at police officers and tell them about the times that they've pulled their sons over, about the time when they pulled their son's pants down, in the middle of the street, right? And my job and role in that place has been to make sure that people had a safe place to testify to those things, right? And because we're in the South, I think there is still respect for the clergy, and so for the most part, like police would just like listen and take it because they couldn't respond any they couldn't tell people to shut up or anything. They just had to hear it, and therefore I bore witness to that too. And I think if anything, hearing those stories and being a pastoral presence, for me, it was about saying that, I want Atlanta citizens to be able to tell police about what has been done to them. For one thing, I think people don't believe them. So I wanted to make sure that was a space for them. But also as a clergy person, I wanted people to know that God was present in that too. I wanted people to know that in the midst of those protests, with all of the guns, with all of the tension, that God was in the midst of that too. Simultaneously to that, like I'd take off my clergy protest chaplain vest and I'd go and minister with people who are experiencing homelessness, most of whom are Black, right? Like let's be clear. In Atlanta, I think 85% of the people who are experiencing homelessness are African American, and I would have to tell them, please don't go to the protest. Like, please don't go. Please don't go. And they're like, but you're going. But but if I got arrested, I'd be okay. If they got arrested, I wouldn't be able to find them because they don't have IDs. Like, who knows? Like the bail fund wouldn't bail them out because they wouldn't know they existed, right? Like there are all these added layers, and so on one hand, I'm like at the protest and making sure that that's a space that people can bear witness to and be heard, and then on the other side, I've got Black men who are like ready to shout and scream Black Lives Matter and who want to be there, and I'm saying to them like, guys, please don't go. Like, please don't go. And that was hard, but I think it was right. And we do have instances of people who are experiencing homelessness who got arrested during those protests, and they just kind of got swept up with everybody else, and their time in jail was extended, right? And so that tension of wanting to be with Black men who are experiencing homelessness, who really do have who really have a reason to be out there, because I mean they have all the stories about the ways that police have harassed them, right? About the ways that police have come in and destroyed everything that they've owned. I mean they have all the good reasons to go to protests, and at the same time it just wasn't safe for them, and I felt like I had a responsibility to tell them that.